Well, it seems we're getting more questions than answers into the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The FBI wants us to believe their official narrative. Tyler Robinson was the shooter. He's not cooperating with police. And within that short timeline, they managed to lock up the case. Nothing to see here. He's a lone gunman. He fired a 30-06 round into Charlie Kirk. Where's the exit wound? Why was Charlie Kirk receiving death threats? We now learn just a few days before he was assassinated. His right-hand man, Frank, who was there in the car holding his body as he passed away, admitted that Charlie was receiving death threats in the days ahead of time, and he told him to increase his security detail. We're also learning some interesting information about that security detail, the Schaefer Group. We wanted to bring in Roger Stone. He's the best-selling author of The Man Who Killed Kennedy, the case against LBJ. Roger knows all about how people can conspire to kill a man, and this is really an interesting template into looking at Charlie Kirk's life. Roger has had a lot of questions over the past few days after the passing of Charlie Kirk. Roger, good to have you back on the show.
Great to be with you. You know, having written this book on the Kennedy assassination, I've also just finished a book on the attempted assassination of President Ronald Reagan. I'll be out before the end of the year, I think by Christmas. Having studied very closely the assassinations of Senator Robert Kennedy and Dr. King, there's just a lot of recurring patterns here. Obviously, in the case of Kennedy, the lack of an exit wound has confounded historians and JFK researchers for decades. It's not possible for Sirhan to have shot Senator Robert Kennedy. He was always in front of Kennedy. But the autopsy by Thomas Noguchi, one of the most respected pathologists, then the LA medical examiner, said that RFK was shot at point blank range from behind in the lower left skull. That would be with the barrel right up against his skin. And in the case of Ronald Reagan, John Hinckley Jr. is always in front of Reagan, crouching, meaning bullets came from the front and an upward trajectory. Yet, as I will prove in medical records, Reagan was hit from above and behind. And so it is with Charlie Kirk. I've tried to focus on this as a two-part question. What happened? And then to try to determine who was behind it. As you point out, the FBI has wrapped this up very quickly. They told us in 7 days. J. Edgar Hoover told us that Lee Harvey Oswald, a lone nut, a communist, that was his motive, killed JFK. Virtually no one believes that today. Once again, the FBI tells us a lone killer, a radicalized leftist shooting from the top of the building. But between the dissembling of his rifle, the changing of his clothes, there's a lot of questions there. And then I've really tried to consult with both doctors who are experts on bullet wounds, as well as sportsmen and marksmen. And virtually all of them question the lack of an exit wound, very much like in the JFK situation, would be very rare, given the facts that we've been presented. So, now you've got all kinds of other theories. You've heard the theory that the driver of Kennedy's limousine turned around and shot him with a Derringer. That's not true. But you'll certainly find it all over the internet. Now you hear word of trap doors and the possibility that he had an exploding microphone. I haven't even had time to look at those theories. But at this point, I think everything should be considered, and the people deserve the truth.
We learned over the past 24 hours that Charlie Kirk said that the Israelis provide the best security. And there's apparently a deleted portion of his interview with Bill Maher that has surfaced from April, where we learned that Charlie's security on the day of his assassination was an Israeli-owned or a Zionist-owned Schaefer Security Group, who apparently ended their contract with Turning Points USA back in 2022, but suddenly showed up for this event. I haven't been able to verify this yet. Have you heard any news about his security detail? And would you be looking at them in any way? I mean, we've heard from Frank, his right-hand man, that these guys were incredible. They grabbed him, threw him right in the truck. They threw him right in the SUV. They were incredible on that day.
Well, obvious questions. First of all, why was there no effort to seal off the crime scene? You see people grabbing hats. You see the entire crime scene being contaminated. No security professional would have allowed that. Why the rush to remove the camera behind him? Why did it have to be done virtually immediately after he was slain. I find both those things, again, extraordinarily suspicious, given this vaunted reputation of his security team. And then all of the watching, look at those messages on Discord that are allegedly between Tyler Robinson and his transgendered boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. They sure read like they were AI generated to me.
Yeah, if there's one thing America is good at, is covering up what they do, right? Um, America is that country that is both good and bad. They can be good and they can be horribly bad. That is America for you in a nutshell. America can represent everything that is good in life. They can be kind, they can be lovely, they can be helpful, they can be supportive, and they can also be deadly, disastrous, deceptive, dangerous. They can be all of these things. I tell people that if they want you to go, you will go. And no matter how much people sing and ask the security bodies or the government for answers, if they don't want to answer you, they will not answer you. That is just the truth. How can you explain this that Charlie was taken down and the whole story keeps on changing? It is this, no, it is that, it was here, no, it was there, and no one is buying what they are saying. No one. You would think that Charlie, a strong supporter of Donald Trump, will get first hand treatment when it comes to investigating what really went down. You would think so. You would think that Charlie, as a popular person, very influential, will get answers to questions as swiftly as possible. But you'll be shocked at what Zekash Patel is doing, right? If you are following the case, you'll be like, this doesn't make any sense because America, with all their technology, with all their advancement, cannot really get to the bottom of this thing. You know, you expect this from a banana republic, as Trump would always say, or from, I don't know, a third world country, but not from America. Except they don't want you to know on purpose. Except they are deliberately lying to you. Except they have a bigger game in play than you and I are thinking of. Maybe there might just be a more larger game at play here than you and I are seeing. That might just be the reason why people or why the government officials cannot really get to the bottom of the issue or won't provide credible information as to what really happened. That might be the reason. You know, we from the global south look up to America. They have very good principles that I myself admired a lot. The ability to speak without worrying about the implications or the repercussion is that one thing that I really admire about America. You know, social media influencers or maybe just YouTubers can say what they want to say about their leadership and nothing will happen to them. I admire that about them a lot. But there are other things that they do, and you'll be like, wow, 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 these people, these people, these people. They have the ability to twist a story, so much so that your head will spin. They have the ability to sow a seed of division among people. They have the ability to infiltrate movement and turn it into what they want it to be. If a grassroots movement comes up, they have the ability to infiltrate it and pour money into it and then turn all the agendas of that movement upside down. They have this ability to derail almost every single thing if they wanted it to be that way. They also have the ability to infiltrate Africa like a lot. They can take down government in Africa. They can set in chaos and confusion. They can orchestrate revolution. They can even incite coup d'etats. All these things they can do. So when you see what they can do, and then you turn around and see that they cannot tell us what really happened to Charlie, the question now becomes, why? What are they hiding? Why can't they get to the bottom of what happened? Or better still, why can't they provide every single information as to what exactly happened to Charlie? Why? And this is a question that people will keep on asking themselves, since from the days of, is it JFK up till now, people will keep on asking themselves, why? Why are there so many mysteries surrounding America? Why? Why is there an epidemic of gun violence in America and no one is doing anything about it? Why? Why do Americans normalize gun violence? Why? Why? These are the questions we'll keep on asking ourselves as we keep on learning and trying to make our own society way more better. So to you guys out there, let's hear what you people have to say in the comment section below. What do you think might be the reason why the government is flip-flopping on the whole Charlie Kirk incident? Is it because they don't have all the evidence or all the proof, or they don't know every single thing? Or is it because they are just covering up a lot of things from the people? What do you think is really going on? Share that thought and opinion with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. Please don't forget to like the video, don't forget to share the video, don't forget to tell a friend or two about the platform. We are trying to get our content in front of a wider audience, and we believe that your love and support will help us get there way more quickly. Thank you for the love and support, and like always, see you in the next one.